Hey, cinema aficionados, Dan Patton, Screen Magazine, thank you for checking in. Today, we are getting to know actor Lorenzo T Hughes. Lorenzo recently entered the One Chicago world as Deputy District Chief Markinson on Chicago Fire. DDC Markinson appeared briefly in an episode in April, checking on the status of a West Side Blaze, exchanging a few lines with Chief Dom Pascal, played by Dermot Mulroney. Now we have learned that DDC Markinson will appear more frequently as Lorenzo becomes a guest star for Chicago Fire season 14. So we're thrilled about that. Lorenzo, thanks for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, likewise, and congratulations. Now, the most important question I have is, what is DDC Markinson's first name?
He does not have a first name yet. That is a very good question. I'm going to ask that.
Excellent. All right, well, let's get on the hotline. Now, DDC Markinson, how does he fit into the whole Chicago Fire scene? What is his job description? Who's he report to? Who does he boss around?
He oversees Firehouse 51, uh, that whole district. So he usually responds when there's an issue that's taking place within the department. Usually he's called when there's like something challenging that's taking place, and just to kind of keep Firehouse 51 in order.
Excellent. And keeping it in order. So that makes him what they refer to on the show frequently as a white shirt. So he's part of the,
White shirt.
yeah, exactly. Part of the management, part of the overseers. Now, what kind of a personality do you think an individual in that profession would have? Is he a cool guy? You know, some of the white shirts in Chicago Fire, Lieutenant Stephen Vale turned out to probably be a murderer. How many victims have suffered the wrath of DDC Martinson?
Well, Markinson he's a very straightforward. He's been with the department so long that he knows his place and his role, and the his fellow firefighters know that as well. So he's really straightforward, straight to the point. And I don't want to say that he's insensitive, but he's been with the department long enough to know that when he gives instructions, that his instructions is biblical.
His word is the law. What did you
Yeah.
like? What did you like most about this character when you read it first on the script, and what are you doing to mold him into your own?
The thing I liked about the Markison is that he's a leader in his department. I love leadership roles, and he's an authoritarian to a degree, and he carries the weight of his department, and his department looks up to him. Yeah, and to make it my own, I don't want to say I have an authoritative personality, but from what I've known in my past, like I've taken on a lot of authoritative roles that require that my feelings not get involved with those roles. So it was kind of easy to kind of carry that over to this particular character.
And now, if I say I get together with DDC Markinson to have a couple of beers, what kind of a time am I going to have? What kind of beer is he going to order?
Outside of work, I believe that Markison is a really cool guy. I'm not sure what his love life is like. I've thought about that. I was like, man, does this guy have a love life? Does he have someone that he's interested in, or is he married to the job type of guy? But as I grow into the character and my relationship with the department, I think it will reveal itself. But I see him as a very cool guy. He loves what he does, and he loves the department that he works for.
And earning this role is kind of a stop on a current career slash life journey that
Yeah.
it began in Omaha, Nebraska. Can you tell us everything that's happened to you until this moment, and how did it feel when you learned that you had the role?
Yeah. Like you said, I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. I never thought that I would be doing this. I always tell people that I didn't choose acting; acting chose me. When I was introduced to it by my agent in Kansas City, because I moved to Kansas City, I was doing a lot of commercial print modeling and fashion modeling, and they wanted me to do television commercials, and I was like, oh no, I don't. I'm not very interested in acting. I don't want to do that kind of work. But because it was my agent, And they work so hard for me. Even my agent now, Susan, they've shown a commitment and loyal to me, so I feel like I have to do the same thing in return. So I went ahead, I went ahead and did the local commercials for Half Price Store, Richmond Gordman, and I think I booked my first union commercial. And I got I said, hey, they want to bump me up on this commercial. They want me to sign this SAG contract. What is that?
Wow.
And my agent was like, "Oh yeah, that's good. Go ahead and sign the contract." So I signed the contract. I didn't really read it. Signed the contract, and I got my first check. And I was like, "Okay, it's cool." Then I got a second check, and I looked at the check. I was like, "They already paid me for this job." Then another check came in the mail, and I was like, "Okay, maybe I should call my agent." I didn't cash the checks at the time, and I called my agent. I said, "Hey, I just got this check, from the Kansas City Star job." I said, I got like two extra checks. I said, "They've already paid me." She said, "No, those are residual checks." And once I learned about residual checks and the union work with regional and national commercials, then I started looking at it as a business. And from that point on, I went into community theater, and that's where my growth in acting started, is in community theater. Then I moved into doing professional theater as a actors equity member.
And
Yep,
what's the highlight of your theater career? And what was it that motivated you to finally make the move from Kansas City to Chicago? I mean, it's a leap of faith, but
it
what
is.
was it that you achieved that made you think, okay, now I'm going to the big city, the capital of all film and television production of the world, Chicago, Illinois?
Well, in Kansas City, I got to a point where I was getting direct bookings, so I wasn't auditioning for anything. They would just call and say, "Hey, look, we want to book Lorenzo." So I was working pretty much Saint in Kansas City, St. Louis, and in Iowa. And occasionally I would go to New York and try to test the waters there and do some little small jobs there. But because I was getting direct bookings, I was like, I'm ready to take a step up in what it is that I'm doing. And in '99, I came up and tested the waters here in Chicago, Illinois, because it was the closest city in the Midwest that were booking actual television shows and movies and things of that nature. So I said, I didn't want to go to California. I'm not a big West Coast fan. I'm more of an East Coast fan. But I said, my family is still here in the Midwest. Let me try to stay close. I said, let me try Chicago. I said, because it's the closest market here in the Midwest.
What was the most pleasantly surprising thing you learned about living in Chicago after arriving here?
Ooh, it moves a lot faster, and it's a lot bigger city. I was in a city of roughly 500,000. So you're looking at moving from 500,000 to a city of like 2 and 3 million people. Um, and the market was a lot different. I had to learn the things that I thought I knew. So and I found out that I really had to develop relationships at that point because I didn't know anyone at the time. So it was a really big leap of faith. And because I didn't do the research, I spent probably roughly around 6 of those months sleeping in my car, living in my car, because I love the work so much that I'm willing to gamble on myself. So I kept rolling the dice, and I think once I didn't have enough money to make it back home, that's when I started reaching out to people in the acting community, and there was a store called the Act One Bookstore that I went to, and I opened up to the owner, and he suggested some books and some people for me to go train with and to meet with.
How did the one Chicago roll? How did Chicago Fire come along?
I moved back to Kansas City after about a year of being here, failing at trying to get things going during that time. But I moved back up here probably about 2.5 years ago. It's been about 2.5 years now. I met my agent, uh, Susan Acuna, at a networking meeting that a casting director here locally was having. And we had a conversation, told her what I did, and she was willing to represent me. Um, and after a period of time, it was a little bit of silence. Then I started hearing from her and getting some auditions for Chicago PD. I was more familiar with that television show. Wasn't really familiar with Fire too much. So I got several auditions for Chicago PD, and then when I did get the audition for Chicago Fire, I ended up booking the least watched show that I was familiar with. So once I got the script, I really had to start catching up with the show. So I started binge watching and looking at the pacing of the show, trying to get the names of the characters, what their relationships were, and then I was ready to read. So I
Excellent.
stayed up all night just watching the show.
Yeah, only a couple lines in that episode in April,
Right.
but they were effective, and you look like your character looks like he's a guy who knows what he's doing, not to be messed with. Now, as far as Chicago Fire, the production team, the crew, what is the most wonderful thing about, working with them? What's it like behind the scenes?
Oh man, you know what? Speaking of the crew, man, I really do want to thank Chicago Fire, the network, NBC, Dick Wolf, Riza Tabrizi, the director. Man, those guys are amazing. Alec Wells, the casting team, for having faith in me taking on the role and being able to carry the role and bringing me back. Working with the director, Riza, I mean, well, the whole cast is a very fun cast. I mean, they have a lot of fun on the set. I thought, especially with it being my first time, I thought they were having too much fun. With me being the new guy, I felt like, okay, I'm enjoying what I'm experiencing, but I said, I'm the new guy. I said, let me stay focused and not drop a line, not miss a mark. And I said, as time grows and I develop relationships with them, then I'll get in and play and have fun as well. But man, it is a fun and amazing crew. They want to see you win. They were constantly open to reaching out to me and helping me with my character and some of the decisions I was making. So it's like the master class of acting, to be able to get on and work with guys who are proficient at what it is that they do.
Yeah. And well, how about the effects? I mean, the first where you show up, there's a full-on house fire on the west side of
Yeah.
Chicago, and that house is on fire. There's smoke everywhere, there's sirens. What was it like? What did you do while they set up, and how did that make you feel rolling into that thing? How real did it feel when you were
Oh,
filming that scene?
it felt very real. I think with because it felt very real, it helped me to be able to be who I needed to be, you know, uh, as the district deputy chief. So it helped a lot. And for me, loving what I do so much, I really didn't want to go back to holding or go back to my trailer when they didn't need me. So I just kind of hung out on the set and watched in amaze on how these guys work. I mean, just to look at the way they work is so professional and so proficient, to see the cranes, the 3 and 4 camera setups, to see the way they set up the fire in these windows is always amazing to me. The movie magic is always amazing.
And you sat back and watched it all like a true
Yes,
boss, like a true
yes,
deputy district
yes.
chief. So,
Absorb.
do you which episodes are you going to be appearing in? I know a guest star means kind of recurring, but not every episode. When can
Yeah,
people tune in?
they
I
can
mean, they
tune.
should they should tune in for the whole season,
So
starting with
yes,
episode one.
continue to tune in because this episode it really focuses on some very high stakes action and high stakes. I mean, it highlights a lot of the difficulties that firefighters have to go through, not only on set, but not I mean not on set, but on the job and off the job. It really highlights the sacrifices that um, responders both have to make, as family and friends, and with their loyalty, within the department. So this is going to be one of those episodes of high stakes and high action. So you definitely want to tune in October the 22nd and to check out this episode.
Excellent. Well, I can't wait to check it. I'll probably hopefully do the whole season beginning, like I said, October 1st. And I, for one, am thrilled that you're here, and congratulations. You worked hard. You deserve all this stuff, everybody. That is actor Lorenzo T Hughes, who plays DDC Markinson on Chicago Fire. And I am Dan Patton, who plays a reporter on Screen Magazine. Thank you for checking in. We'll see you around.
Thank you, Dan.
Hey, nice work, man.